Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to try the Avatar: The Last Airbender jump-in event. This is a great way to build your collection at low cost. It's only 200 gems and 1,000 gold. Now, there's not much in the way of reward. You get typically an uncommon individual card reward, although if you're lucky it could be a rare or even a mythic rare, although that's obviously rare. Anyway, and of course you combine two half decks and form a deck, and you can play as many times as you want. And you get jump-in tokens with pre-order bundles sometimes. So that's a great way to, if you get that bundle, that's a great way to play jump-in without it costing you anything. Although, again, the cost is quite reasonable. So let's jump in and try a deck. Okay. We played Zuko in the midweek Magic event, so I think I want to try something different. Firebending seems pretty good. So if there's firebending synergy in the Ozai packet, that might be interesting. This could be interesting as well. I think we'll try Ozai. And then any of these would work well. I think we'll go with firebending, since we played Zuko and Azula in the midweek Magic event. So we'll try something a bit different. So we lucked out in that all of the options to work with our first pick were synergistic. So as usual, they seem to have at the top end a land cycler. Not sure how much sacrifice synergy there is for Zhao. Fire Nation Cadets, useful aggressive card. Although we don't have too many lessons to go with it, just Firebending Lesson, Ozai's Cruelty, and Scarring Memories. Dragon Moose, not particularly synergistic. So here's some sacrifice synergy. Oh, and yes, Reckless Blaze is also a lesson. Didn't notice that. Interesting. You don't usually see sweepers in these jump-in packets. So that's interesting that our rare, I guess this is the rare from the Firebending deck, or one of them anyway, is a Board Wife. So we actually got 3 rares. That's pretty nice. The Ascension, Ozai, and Reckless Blaze. So yes, with the packets you always get at least 1 rare per packet, and it looks like in the Avatar jump-in you can sometimes get multiple rares in a packet. So that's pretty nice. Anyway, let's give it a try and see how we do. On the play, I think this is keepable. I've got Heartless Act for some interaction. Fire Navy Trebuchet doesn't really work that well with Zhao, because you only sacrifice the Ballistic Boulder token at the end step. So, whereas you want to be triggering Zhao during combat, but I think this is still keepable. And we can lead with tap land. Alright, Fire Nation Cadets. Not the most mana efficient, but it's a proactive play. Mono white so far, plays invasion reinforcements. We draw a Reckless Blaze. I have to say, I will say Reckless Blaze kind of doesn't really work with the jump-in packets for the most part, because they're usually pretty creature heavy. Like, both our packets, we want creatures attacking. So board wipe seems counterproductive. I think we still play at the Trebuchet, even though we have Reckless Blaze in hand. Alright. I think we Heartless Act Suki. And then if they double block, I could pump to trade, but I guess we can probably better to hold on to the cadets, so we'll just use Cunning Maneuver here. Let's play Zhao. No attacks. Opponent looks to be mono white. Alright. Dragon Moose gets profitably blocked by the Rabaru troop, even with Zhao. Alright. So this is kind of a bit of a bad attack in that Fire Nation cadets can get blocked by the Rabaru troop. But I think I don't mind trade losing the cadets. Opponent might not risk blocking as well, because we've got tons of mana. Alright, that was a pretty good block. Another Rabaru troop. Let's see. If I play Swamp, I'll have 6 mana. But I only have 2 creatures, so even if I Reckless Blaze, I can't cast Dragon Moose. So I think we'll wait until next turn, when I can Reckless Blaze and have enough mana for Dragon Moose. Alright, the Trebuchet can block one of those creatures at least. We fall to 14. Draw another land. And then we want to main phase Reckless Blaze so I can cast Dragon Moose and attack with it. Alright, now we'll have to hope our top decks are kind to us. Koshi Battlefan. Firebending Lesson. I mean, I guess I kick it just to be safe. Not doing anything else with the mana, so might as well. Alright. I think opponent would have been better off airbending their deserters. I think it's Lightning Strike Aang. They play Dragon Moose. So I could use like Zuko Exiled Prince or Ozai off the top. Opponent attacks, so they must have we call to 10. Does opponent have a blocker? Opponent does not have a blocker. Firebender Ascension. Not great here. That's why opponent was willing to attack there. They had removal for my moose. Alright. Ozai's Cruelty, not looking so good right now. I need to find some way of dealing 2 damage, so I can burn opponent out with the Cruelty. So opponent drew removal just when they needed it. Land is bad. Alright, so I've got one more turn to top deck out of this, but I'm not sure. So opponent... Alright. I think Scarring Memories was perfect. Do we have enough mana to cast both? I believe we do. We've drawn a ton of lands, so we're going to be able to burn opponent out here. Alright, well, we lucked out there. On we go. Forgot to claim my individual card reward, so let's see what we get. Servant of the Stinger. Okay, sure thing. Alright, now we'll jump into another game. On the draw, I've got a lesson to go with the Fire Nation Cadets. 3 lands, so I think this is keepable. I will say from how looking at the deck earlier and then how it played out is what this deck is missing is card advantage. I think Ozai lets you exile cards off the top of the opponent's library, and then there's Zuko Exiled Prince to exile cards. Alright, Beetle-Headed Merchants provide some card advantage, and we've already hit 4 lands. Opponent green-white. Hit for 1, so I can play Corrupt Court Official. Opponent discards land. Corrupt Court Official will go to sacrifice to the merchants. Alright, so Cunning Maneuver is a trade if I attack with Corrupt Court Official. Or I could play Loyal Fire Sage for now. Maybe that's better. And then if I attack with Loyal Fire Sage, I can kick Firebending Lesson. Opponent's got Earthbender Ascension. I think we just get rid of top here. Opponent misses land drop. No attacks. Although Cunning Maneuver does let me trade. Opponent's got another top. Heartless Act, you say? Opponent finally hits land. They should be out of Tofts. Looks like they've got another removal spell. So maybe I should have destroyed the lands, so then Toph would have been a 0-3 and their removal would have been useless. Alright, so if I attack with Fire Nation Cadets, I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So with Cunning Maneuver and their own activated ability, I can trade for the land. I mean, maybe we try it in case opponent has more removal and removes my Zuko. And then we'll draw with the clue end of turn. Firelord, Ozai, and Zuko. I can play both of them. That's annoying. Lightning Strike. I might hold on to Lightning Strike to try and burn opponent out. And of course I hit Canyon Crawler, which I can't play now. So I think I have to hope I can burn opponent out here. Opponent's got another Earth Kingdom Soldier. Alright, so the hippos are lethal. Fire Nation Trebuchet. Those are vigilance. Alright. Not liking our chances this time. Zhao, not going to do it. Well, opponent just had too many too big creatures and hit their land drops right when they needed to, and I should have killed the land instead of Toph, because they kept having removal that they could use with their land, so that was a mistake. Oh well, better luck next time. On we go. On the draw. This hand's a little slow in that I don't have a play until turn 3. But I've got Reckless Blaze. So I think we'll try it. We seem to be facing a plethora of white decks. I think I'll cycle Canyon Crawler. Because I want to hit my land to get up to Reckless Blaze. Green-white again. Alright, do I Cruelty or play Trebuchet? Cruelty will be a bit better when opponent has fewer cards in hand, so I think we play Trebuchet. Because I'm not too upset if the Trebuchet dies to Reckless Blaze. Alright, opponent doesn't do anything. We draw another land. I'm somewhat regretting cycling the Canyon Crawler. making the opponent sacrifice a creature doesn't seem that useful when I've got Reckless Blaze. So let's just, even though it's not as efficient, let's just cast Ozai's Cruelty here. Alright, opponent missing lands. I'm guessing if they discarded... Now they hit land 5. Depending on what they play, we might just Scarring Memories or Reckless Blaze. They cycle Sabertooth Mooseline. A bit surprising considering they had 5 lands, so they were just 1 land shy of casting it, which would have been good. I might just have to run out Firelord Ozai here just to get some pressure on the board, and rely on Scarring Memories and Lightning Strike to clear opposing creatures. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. I don't think opponent's not really doing much. They're not playing into my Reckless Blaze, so I don't think I can just sit back. Alright, the Sloth is fine. Interesting. I think I'll take it. Alright. And this way I've got my removal up. I'm guessing Razor Rings was what opponent was attacking, was the reason why they attacked, because it can hit blocking creatures. Origin of Metal Bending could have destroyed my trebuchet. Also gives Indestructible, so at least the sacrifice effect got around that. Then we'll flash in Fire Nation Ambushers. We'll Heartless Act in response. Alright, I guess we'll play Zuko. Excuse me. Well, I think we'll flash in Ambusher's end of turn. This Reckless Blaze hasn't looked too good. I mean, they might as well attach the fan. They don't have anything better to do. Alright, and then, let's see, we've used Lightning Strike, Scarring Memories, Heartless Act. I think we've still got, the 1 mana lesson there, so I guess we'll dig for that. I don't know why they didn't trade for Zuko there. Anyway. Alright, there's Firebending Lesson. If I had activated Zuko one more time, I would have found it, and I would have had lethal. Alright. So this time we were better able to disrupt the opponent and keep ahead. And as we saw, like I said, Reckless Blaze, although we used it to good effect in the first game, it really wasn't doing anything for us this game. So that's why having a board wipe is a bit at odds with your typical limited strategy. Anyway, let's try using our other jumping token to try a different deck. Alright. So I'm presuming this is a water-bending synergy deck. So you can tap Tui and Lab without attacking with them. Red-green, similar to Grumgully the Generous from Throne of Eldraine, although it's not permanent +1/+1 counters. So I'm assuming that the non-human creatures in this packet have multiple types. Varnation Drill seems like a pretty powerful effect. Having removal attached to a permanent is always good. I think I want to try out the new mechanics, so let's go for the water bending packet here. And then, not sure, I don't think any of these synergize especially well with water bending. I think I'll go with Lessons just because it's got blue, rather than 6 mana is a lot for cards in limited. Flyers could be good. There could be some flyers in Underwater. I think we'll still go with Lessons. Alright. And it turns out all of the Lessons, the cards that were green and black were hybrid cards anyway, so this is essentially a mono blue deck. So that kind of worked out. And then Katara Seeking Revenge has Waterbend synergy. Not a lot of lessons for a lessons synergy packet. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lessons. So I'm not sure how many times I'm going to be able to draw 3 with Accumulate Wisdom. And then Giant Koi has Waterbending synergy. Coastal Piracy, Turtle Seals are vigilant, so I can attack with them and still waterbend. Another vigilant creature. Invasion Submersible for interaction. We don't have a lot of interaction in this deck. At least in terms of permanent answers. Basically, like, it'll quench ya, and then hope to get opponent with Octopus form. Or Unagi Spray. Anyway, let's give it a shot. And we'll get into some gameplay. On the play, I've got Gran Gran on turn 1. Could cycle Giant Koi. I think with Giant Koi in hand to cycle, I'll discard land to Gran Gran. And then I wouldn't mind finding a lesson to discard to buff the flyer. Opponent mono green so far. No attacks. This isn't a lesson, so it doesn't pump first time flyer. Coastal Piracy. If I cast that, that triggers Prowess on Iguana Parrot, and it can attack past the Frog Squirrels, as long as opponent doesn't have a trick, I guess. Don't think there are any tricks for 1 mana in green. get to draw a card. I will happily draw a card. And then wouldn't mind drawing land. So I can play Katara and Unagi Spray. That's an interesting attack. I mean, I think we take it so we can hit back with the Iguana Parrot and the Flyer, first time Flyer, and draw 2 cards. So I have to Waterbend. Katara is on cast. It's an additional cost to cast, so I have to Waterbend. So maybe I tap the Flyer. No attacks. Not sure what White Lotus Hideout is doing in the deck, considering all the lessons are blue and I don't need the fixing for them. So I could play the Koi. Maybe I should have played Tuyen La first main to have a fish to draw a card. Yeah, I should have played Tuyen La first main. Opponent takes it. Want to tap that land. Opponent does have a fair amount of life gain here. They'll draw a card off Leaves from the Vine because they've got Cabbage Merchant and Sabertooth Mooselion in the graveyard. Bosco. That's a pretty aggressive attack. Alright, and then I think... Alright, that was a blowout. And I think I don't mind trading Katara here. Opponent takes it. Falls to 4. This Coastal Piracy has been doing work for us. Alright. Not sure how good Quencha will be. So I think we'll play Giant Koi here. Alright, there's Toph. They don't have attacks with Bosco. Opponent attacks anyway. Opponent's tapped out, so I think I block with Koi and we'll throw Grand under the bus here so I can trade for Bosco. I'll draw 2, airbend opponent's creatures. I'll discard a Loquentia. Alright. On we go. Almost forgot again to claim my reward because this is a new entry. Styles' Chocobo. I've got all of the cards from the main Final Fantasy set, so this is contributing to the vault. Good in landfall. Anyway, on we go. On the play, I think this is keepable. Boomerang Basics, not the most powerful instant or sorcery to get back with Chakra Meditation, but at least I've got something to get back. Although I think my turn 3 play will be Iguana Parrot. And then I think I'll cycle this Giant Koi. I've got another one in the deck. Doesn't matter what I pick here. They automatically have the one of the thriving lands in all of the packets. Okay, now that I've drawn land 4, I'm not so sure I want to cycle the Giant Koi. Although that does mean we won't be doing anything till turn 3. Opponent red-black. Reach blocker. Porcupine. We'll take it. Alright, I think I was definitely correct not to cycle the Koi, because we've drawn land 5. I have to play Boomerang Basics first to get something back for Chakra Meditation. Let's bounce Porcupine, because that's the most expensive to replay. Hit for 4. And then I could bounce Chakra Meditation. I can basically have an infinite loop with Chakra Meditation Boomerang Basics. We'll take 3. Okay, if I don't hit land drop, I might cycle one of the Kois. I'll discard White Lotus Hideout, although it is land 6, but I don't want to discard the Koi. Coastal Piracy. Hmm. I think we take 3 here. Alright, Katara seeking revenge. I think we'll leverage our card advantage. There's land 6. We'll hit for 2. And then, because I've got a lesson in my graveyard, Katara can so profitably block. Although I think if opponent attacks, we let them through. Looks like opponent might have removal for Katara here. Alright, so they are tapped out. We are going to take a pretty big hit if we... They only attack with Porcupine. Alright, and then... We kind of want to get aggressive here. So maybe it's Chakra Meditation, Get Back, Boomerang Basics. Could also play Giant Koi. Alright. And then we'll hold up It'll Quench You here. Although opponent does have a lot of mana. can pay for that. I think I'm happy to trade Twee and La for the Beetle-Headed Merchants to draw a card. Well, if I'd known I was going to draw Octopus form, I might have attacked with the Parrot. They're going to double block. Let's see here. Can I kill both creatures? Yes, because if I untap Twee and La, I put a +1/+1 counter on them. I think it's Gran here. And then the Koi is lethal because I can make it so it can't be blocked. Xiao is fine. And Ambushers is fine. Alright. So we weren't able to leverage Coastal Piracy this time. But we got in some good work with Twee and La and our Chakra Meditation. Alright. So that'll do it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Do please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see more Avatar content, maybe some more limited content, or Avatar Commanders in Brawl, let me know in the comments. And have a good one. Bye.